If you're a collector like me, the first thing I like to do when I bring home a plant is to get to know the plant. So I go on Pinterest or the internet and find the name of the plant that I bought, and then I read up on it just to see what their characteristics are, what they need, what they don't need, and where to put them position wise in my garden so that I can get the full benefit of a healthy plant. So with the Black Prince, the first thing that caught my eye when I was reading about it is that it is a low growing, low to the ground, very slow growing, and as an Echeveria, it was a hybrid. And it also says that it needs full sun or part shade, 2-part shade. What that means is that it will thrive in full sun. However, when it is really hot outside, this plant will suffer. And by the way, I planted it in my garden. It's up on a flower bed, and you know, I gave it the good soil, the soil that it needs and everything, and watered it precisely the way it wanted to be watered. However, in that part of the garden, the sun is really beating very intensely, and I think that it's really suffering, just like my Sedum cherry tart was doing. I don't know why that is. California is not that bad. It's not like Arizona where it's really hot. So this Black Prince right here, so beautiful in all its glory. It is right now putting out this shoot, this offshoot. It's like a flower. It's flowering. But however, all the energy in the soil and the roots and everything that it's sucking up from the soil is going up to the baby, and then pretty soon the mom will suffer because it's giving up all the energy, just like when you're pregnant and you're eating for 2. The plants do the same thing. So this is one of my, I have 3 Black Princes. I just bought one, a baby one, because I'm scared of the other one that I planted over there by the sun. It's in the ground and it looks like it's struggling. I don't know why. Something about our soil is not giving off a successful ground planting for my plants. So I'm going to go over here to the baby. This is the baby one. I just planted this, and I planted it and I felt the leaves were pretty squishy or really thin, like it's losing some water. But when I planted it, now it's doing great. And both of these plants are under the shade. However, if we go over here to the one that is planted on the ground. So this guy right here is also shooting off a flower. However, this guy was a lot bigger when I planted it, and it seems like it's struggling and it's losing a lot of the nutrients because it's soft. The petals are soft. Inside it's pretty firm, but outside is getting really soft. So that just tells me that this guy right here is sucking up all of the juices, really good juices. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually give birth to this baby, and the way I'm gonna do it is I have a knife, very sharp knife, and I'm gonna go to the very base of that stem right there. I'm gonna keep this guy. Hopefully I keep him intact. But I'm gonna slowly slice that off the mother. Very slowly. I don't want to hurt. The leaf that's, oops. Let's see if I can pull it off now. Just have to be very careful. Okay, I'm gonna go above. Slice that baby up. And voila. So now I'm gonna let this callus over. See how beautiful inside of that is? Yeah. So now mom is gonna get all the nutrients again. Looking under here, feels like this is, I think this is a residual of it being under direct sun. It was under direct sun before we put up the awning here. So I'm just gonna let him, hopefully she will regain all of her nutrients and all of her vitamins and be able to succeed again. And then little guy is going to be planted. So now that I got to know my Echeveria Black Prince, I'm going to put a label on the container, on the planter, just so I know come winter time if I have to protect this guy from frost. I'm going to protect all of them from frost anyway, but just putting some codes and little description on this on the label that I got from the dollar store, obviously. From my experience with the Black Prince, I'm gonna say instead of full sun, it is better if you say part sun to shade. I mean, this could change the weather, depending on the weather, you know, the patterns of the weather. I mean, that this could change, but at least from the beginning, once, you know, from the beginning, I would be able to know some of the characteristics of this, this plant. And also I noticed that propagation, leaf propagation is not fairly successful, which means that I tried to propagate from a leaf and it didn't really survive after it gave off the little plant. After that, it just stopped growing and then it just died. So the best way, I believe, is to propagate from offshoot. And this plant, this particular Echeveria is, I mean, it really grows very, very slowly. And however, the one that I have, the second one that I have, I guess it depends on who grew it. The second one that I got is growing. It's growing out of its container right now, so I might have to repot that in a different container, and it's only been like 2 months. So what else do I need to say about the Black Prince? I think that's about it. That's about it. So these are oh, I would say protect from frost, just in case. But at least once I have mature plants, I can go ahead and plant them in the ground. I think that's what I should have done with the first one, where I got the baby from. In the first place, I should have waited until it was a huge dinner plate mature plant before I put it in the ground, maybe that would have been a better or a more successful ground planting. And I, you know, when it gets that big and it's so used to the soil and the roots are very well established in the soil, you know, usually they can stand a little bit of cold. So but I think for me, for my own reference, when I see this, I would be able to know you know, how to take care of it in the future. So what do I do once I have this this label? I'm not going to stick this to the container because you never know, I might repot it. So I'm going to wrap it around a toothpick. Do we see a pattern here? And best way is to just stick them together like this. Stick it in here. And then this is just going to be stuck inside the planter, and then I'll be able to see what I need to see if I need information, instead of having to go back to Pinterest, looking it up again, trying to find out what happened. And this way I can my reference is quick and easy.